While speculation swirls that Hillary Clinton will make another run for the White House, some of the Clinton family's dirty laundry has been exposed by none other than the New York Times. The paper depicts the Clinton Foundation as an organization with sketchy finances and major conflicts of interest. And the Times also points out it will soon become the nerve center of Hillary's public life. All right, so I read this article here. Eric, I have a theory. This is classic Clinton. Dump the info, take the dirty laundry to the friendly hometown laundromat, their hometown paper. Get it out there. There's nothing new in here. So what? They support celebrities. They run big deficits.
Yeah, no, very accurate, and that may be the case. A lot of people are scratching their head, me included, why the New York Times would do an expose or an investigative piece on the foundation, other than get it out of the way, get it, out there, and oh yeah, I remember that 3 years ago. Here's the thing, though. This is still going to be the vehicle, probably, for the 2016 election. I think Hillary Clinton's going to take some space in. I think they have 3 or 4 floors at the Time Life building. She's going to take some of that for 2016. They were running massive deficits after taking almost $500 million over a 10-year period. It's wrought with cronyism, fake capitalism, and a lot of paybacks. There's some questionable business ties in there too that we want to look at.
But not exactly a jaw dropper. I mean, Dana, how should Republicans respond? I think it's a trap. I think they want Republicans to say, "Look at you supporting childhood or trying to get rid of childhood obesity and trying to get rid of AIDS in Africa. How dare you spend all that money?" And they're going to say, "You took the bait, GOP."
So I have a theory of why the New York Times did the story. Because anything about the Clintons sells newspapers. And this election is not for 3 more years. We're going to have to deal with this daily. There's going to be great stories about them. There's going to be stories that question their background. And that's going to be inevitable for them. And what she'll have to do, and I think you're right on this point, if they get this out now, then they can move on. And then she can start to articulate whatever her plan and agenda and ideas for America is going to be.
Greg?
This is like busting somebody for shoplifting when they have bodies out in the back. This is a victory for Hillary, taking the heat off the Benghazi cover-up, which is a huge story and a massive story that she was a part of. But as long as you focus on the really boring crap like this Clinton Foundation stuff, it's like you said, it's out there, it's boring. You stay away from the really ugly stuff that could bring her down, I think.
Bob, Charles Krauthammer weighed in on Hillary Clinton running for president. She announced a series of heady foreign policy speeches earlier this week. You, I think, have said she's going to be the nominee. She's going to be invincible. Krauthammer disagrees. Let's take a listen.
Let's remember, she's not exactly invincible. She was the anointed one before Barack Obama came along. She was also inevitable in 2008, didn't really make it. I think the Republicans simply have to put up a good candidate. I think the Republicans have the stronger argument. The country hasn't really done very well under Obama. There's no great joy about what he's achieved. He's got a lot of liabilities. She escaped some of them, but not all of them.
Now, as much as I admire Krauthammer, his view of American politics is way off, and it has been for a long time. Look, he can say all he wants about Hillary Clinton in 2008. She wasn't going to run anyway. Obama came out. It wasn't as if this was somebody who was a surprise. Obama was set up to run, and she almost got it. This time around, not only did the Democrats not have anybody who could challenge her, the Republicans don't even come close to having somebody to challenge her. And the other thing I'd say about this, the money thing, here's the problem. Where Clinton fell off on raising money for the Clinton Foundation was right during her presidential race, because she sucked in a lot of that money. And that was a little bit of tension, to say the least. That's going to happen again next time around, because I will guarantee you she'll spend over $1 billion easily.
But we need to investigate some of the things that they point out. There's a lot of board members and a lot of money going back and forth between the Clinton Foundation.
And there's a lot of great things.
A good example, MF Global lost almost $2 billion. John Corzine ran MF Global. They were paying an advisor who worked at the Clinton Foundation $125,000 per month to advise MF Global. They go bankrupt, lose all the money. A lot of people say that the business ties are at least questionable.
You can say that, but the amount of work that the Clinton Foundation is doing around the world for good is amazing.
Body of work. Hillary Clinton in 3 years is going to look. We're going to look back and say, hey, well, what's going on? For the time she said, what difference does it make when 4 Americans are dead? These interesting business dealings. At some point, a voter's got to say, do I really want that as my next president?
But Dana, does it make a difference, though? Because Bob just parroted what Democrats will say if Republicans take the bait, which is they've done a lot of good work. And Bill Clinton's been pictured with with George Bush Sr. So
I think that the Republicans, they're having a great meeting this week. They're up in Boston for their Republican National Convention. All the vibes out of it are very positive. Chris Christie gave a speech today, and I don't know who else is on the docket to give a speech, but there's a lot of energy up there, and they can just focus on themselves for a hot minute. Mm-hmm. And they can worry about her later.
Greg, the rallying cry started among females earlier this week. Kathleen Parker penned a piece in the Washington Post where she said Hillary Clinton can change the world.
And
with
she's
one
conservative.
pantsuit. And she's conservative. Also, one of the Bush daughters came out and said she should run for president.
Though I think that, I don't know, the way I read that, I don't think that people, if you're asked, do you think Hillary Clinton should run for president? And you're somebody who's not in politics, like, yeah, sure, I think that'd be great. She should, of course, run for president. I think people are maybe, I haven't talked to Barbara Bush, but I think
if a Kathleen Parker and somebody like a Bush can be misinterpreted as she should run, I mean, is this the inevitable candidacy of Hillary Clinton?
I don't know. I just think, all in all, politics is a scam. People say they go into power for public service, but in reality, it's for the big payoff later when you make billions and billions of dollars.
And then run deficits.
I'm telling you, I am going to have a gut-filled foundation, and it's going to be a placement center for errant houseboys and strippers.
Nice.
Will you have paid or unpaid interns?
I will have unpaid interns, and they will all be former models.
Greg, the Clinton Foundation has already done that, according to this New York Times story sponsored by